Hello, Cynics. I'm Tucker, and I've been thinking, is Luke Skywalker a sociopath? Now, he's presented to us as a hero, maybe even the main hero of the Star Wars original trilogy, but looking at his actions reads like a checklist for classic antisocial behavior. In fact, according to the DSM 5, that's the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, Luke's life really checks off just one after another of your main definitions for what antisocial personality disorder is. Don't worry, I got evidence. Number one, failure to conform to social norms. Now, when he's living on Tatooine, he's got what seems to be a fairly simple, happy home life. While his birth mom and dad are gone, he's got Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru who have been taking care of him his whole life and who he should really look at as mom and dad. But he doesn't like that. He doesn't like this home life. He wants to join the Imperial Academy. Well, that doesn't pan out, obviously. And where does he go from there? He doesn't try to settle somewhere or lead a normal life. He joins the rebellion, who, in the imperial world he lives in, are criminals. These are treasonous individuals by most people's definition. And that's the group he looks to join. Now, another point, aggressiveness. Luke kills everybody. Like anybody Luke comes into contact with, if they're any sort of aggressive to him, he kills them. Whether he disarms them first or not, they're dead. Anybody who he comes into contact that he views as an enemy, there's no negotiation. Luke will kill you. Three, reckless disregard for safety of self or others. Now, we see this early on in the cantina when Ponda Baba threatens him. What does he do? Nothing. He doesn't even recognize that he's in trouble until Obi-Wan has to step in and save him. Then again, in Jabba's palace, the plan that he concocts to rescue Han Solo endangers not only himself, but virtually every one of his friends in a plan that he couldn't possibly know was going to work. I mean, that whole deal is just convoluted. Then again, on Cloud City, he runs off knowing, believing that his friends are in danger, runs off to face he doesn't even know who. There is no regard for his own safety whatsoever. He just assumes he's going to come out okay. And then four, consistent irresponsibility. He abandons his Jedi training. I mean, after like no time at all. He starts it, goes a little way, and just decides, I'm good now. I can handle this. Despite warnings from the only other Jedi, well, the only Jedi in the entire universe. He gets a touch of training, says, Golden, bails. I'm off to help my friends. Doesn't listen to any warnings, doesn't care, he's gone. Next and lastly, the lack of remorse. Now, I know people have touched on it before, but Luke never feels any real remorse or weight of his actions or what's going on around him. Uh, when he blows up the Death Star and extinguishes, somebody did an analysis online as like 37 million people that can't possibly all have been evil. I mean, when he blows up the Death Star, eh, even if there's just thousands of people there, you, you know that it's got cooks and mechanics and just regular people who ostensibly could have just wanted to get off of their planets like he did originally. He doesn't empathize with anybody. He doesn't care. Despite his strong connection to the Force, and we see from Obi-Wan's reactions when Alderaan is destroyed, a Force user feels it when a lot of lives are all extinguished at once. But Luke doesn't feel anything. He blows up the Death Star, thousands, maybe millions of people, all dead at once by his actions, and he feels nothing. Or how about how quickly he gets over his aunt and uncle, who, like I said before, are basically his mom and dad. He's kind of sad for a minute, and then he's done. He's fine. He moves on with his life. Then, more evidence of his lack of remorse, he blows up Jabba's pleasure barge in his, I like to talk about before, convoluted plan to save Han Solo. There were a lot of people on that pleasure barge, and they weren't all criminals. We see from the very introduction in Jabba's palace, there's slaves, there's servants, there's musicians, and all of these people are on the pleasure barge with Jabba. He kills them all. And it's not even clear that it's necessary to kill them all to get away. But he does. One more opportunity for Luke to kill everybody like he normally does. Well, I think that makes it pretty clear. Luke is not a nice guy, at the least. My opinion? Our hero's a sociopath. But that's just my thoughts. Let me know what you think. Stay cynical.